At the beginning of Raya, we have the nation of Kumandra, which is inhabited by both dragons and humans, until one day the Droon appears, and with it, it brings destruction and chaos, turning everyone in its wake into stone. As a last-ditch effort, the dragons, the last 5 remaining dragons, put their powers together into what they call the Dragon Gem, and with its mighty blast away the Droon and bring peace to Kumandra. Or at least that's what their goal was, until humans became greedy and instead of sharing the gift of the Dragon Gem, decided to try to attack each other and break into factions, causing civil unrest and the hiding away of the Dragon Gem. The Dragon Gem was hidden in the Land of Heart, in a shrine known only to those who were the keepers of the gem. 500 years after the gem's creation, the leader of Heart, Chief Benja, decides to invite the other 4 tribes to join him for a celebratory and symbolic getting together of Kumandra, a meal to share, and in doing so, invites chaos once again. The selfishness of humans takes over, and Fang makes a play for the Dragon Gem, and in doing so invites the other 3 nations to try and take the gem, and in doing so breaks open the Dragon Gem into 5 pieces and brings back the Droon. Each piece is taken by an individual tribe, one given to Raya, one to Tail, one to Talon, one to Fang, and one to Spine. And Raya goes out to put the Dragon Gem pieces together. But before she tries to put all of the Dragon Gem pieces together, she goes looking for the dragon who put it all together at the beginning, Sisu Datu. At the end of the river Kumandra, she puts down the Dragon Gem piece that she has and summons Sisu. But the question is, why was she the one that summoned Sisu? Why not anybody else who would have looked for Sisu? Why not anybody else who would have been a large fan of dragons, a great dragon nerd like Namari? Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Joshua Quinn and I discuss Disney theories on this channel. And today we're tackling the question, why didn't anybody else go looking for Sisu? Right at the beginning of the movie, before the Dragon Gem is broken and taken, we're shown by Namari that Fang has a piece of lore, a piece of its culture that believes that the mighty Sisu is out there somewhere at the end of the river Kumandra. So why didn't she or anybody else from Fang go looking for Sisu? We know that both Namari and her mother, Chief Verana, were very big into having the dragons come back. For very different reasons, obviously. Verana wanted to have the dragons on her side and to show that Fang can lead Kumandra, whereas Namari just really loved the dragon lore that she grew up learning. But what made Raya so special to bring forth Sisu? There's no doubt in my mind that Namari traveled to every end of the river Kumandra looking for Sisu, trying her best to summon Sisu with no luck. And it doesn't make sense to me that Sisu would not have shown herself to another fan, another dragon nerd, as Namari labels herself. It's possible that the reason that Raya had Sisu revealed to her was due to the piece of the Dragon Gem. We do know that before the Dragon Gem split, it was always in possession of the Tribe of Heart. And so no one else knew the location. No one in Fang who believed that Sisu was out there could go and retrieve the Dragon Gem and use it to summon Sisu. Likewise, I don't think that Fang would have given up this piece of lore very easily, would have told anybody else about the fact that Sisu was still out there without something to gain in return. We do see in Raya that Namari reveals this fact to Raya in exchange for finding the location of the Dragon Gem. And so I believe that this was a very coveted piece of lore that Fang kept close and kept dear and didn't reveal to others, trying to hold that power for themselves, and only revealed it to Raya when there was something that they could gain in return, the Dragon Gem. So what about the time in between the return of the Droon and the time that Raya makes it to summon Sisu? We know that 6 years happen during that span of time. We know that Namari grows up to be a general in the army. She has her own soldiers that follow her, and she has an extremely fast cat that she's able to travel all the way to Tail with in pursuit of Raya. Her tribe at this time have a piece of the dragon gem. She loves dragons and knows the lore better than anyone else. Why didn't she go out and look for Sisu? I think the answer to this one is actually pretty simple. The fact that Namari would have had a hard time convincing her mother to allow her to take the dragon gem piece. Fang is at the front of Kumandra, the river Kumandra. They're at the head. And so because of this, they would have to travel to the other end of the river. The lore says that Sisu lives at the end of the river, which is in Tail. It is where Namari ends up finding Raya. She does end up traveling to Tail, but she doesn't travel there with her dragon gem piece. The river Kumandra is based on the Mekong River, which is a real river here on Earth that is 2,700 miles long. I could imagine that Chief Varana had some skepticism about allowing her daughter to travel 2,700 miles with essentially a target painted on her back. That dragon gem piece would have been the most sought after piece of power that the Fang tribe had, and it would have been traveling the entire length of the river down through every tribe's land. And in doing so, she would have been at great risk, and Chief Varana would not have had any control over what was going on with that stone. She wouldn't have had any way to check in with her daughter. She wouldn't have had any way to know whether she had just let the last bit of power that Fang had escape their grasp. So do I think that Raya was the chosen one that Sisu decided to reveal herself to? No, I honestly believe this comes down to the type of magic which locked Sisu away. We know that Sisu had not intended to take her nap, as she puts it. She was drained after casting the spell, but she had no intention of sleeping for that long. Raya did not happen to end up at the end of the river at the exact time that Sisu woke up. Instead, I think she was summoned. Raya was able to break the spell that Sisu was under and awaken the dragon. But I think this was only because she had done the ritual, had performed some kind of attempt to commune with Sisu while presenting a piece of the dragon gem. I firmly believe that if Namari had made it to the end of the river with a piece of the dragon gem, she too would have been able to bring Sisu around, and the movie would have been very different. But what do you all think? Do you think that Namari could have summoned Sisu? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to subscribe. I do Disney theories every week. I encourage you to also check out this video where I talked about Ming Li's first transformation in the movie Turning Red. She's a huge panda. How in the world did her mother keep that a secret from everybody? I'll see you all next week. Take care, everybody.